Good afternoon. This is Connie Swain, the connector, connecting you with information you need to know. Today, I want to do a video about just asking the question, are you ready to buy a home? But before I get into this, make sure you ring that notification bell. You just heard mine on my phone. You like the video, share the video, and please let your friends know about it if they've got questions. So let's get into it. Now, buying a home is always better than renting, but a lot of people are really unprepared for just what it's going to take to buy a home. So you've got to be ready for it. So you need to ask yourself these questions to see if you are really ready to buy a home. Now, one of the things, and this is going to be harsh, but I have to say it, is that you've got to think, do you pay all your own bills? Now, I'm not talking about bills from work, say you get a car allowance or that kind of thing. But do you pay your own bills, or does mama or daddy pay it? So, do you pay your cell phone bill? Do you pay all your credit card payments, your insurance, your car insurance, maybe health insurance, rent, monthly expenses? Do you pay all of your own bills? If you don't pay all of your own bills and you're depending on someone else to pay it, maybe you need to make some changes first before you buy a home. So if your parents or another person is paying any of those bills, you may not be ready to pay a mortgage. Also, being responsible for some of those things may be a red light with the lender. It may flag that you're not responsible for your responsible with your financial responsibilities. Also, keep in mind that circumstances can change in a moment in time. So, you need to be in a position to pay all of your own bills for at least 6 months to a year before you buy a home. Make sure you're making all of the payments for a period of time so that when you go to a lender, there's nothing that raises a flag. But let me give you an example of why paying or not paying your bills could be problematic. So let's say your mama's paying your cell phone, your car insurance, and your gas. You get pre approved for a mortgage and you're in the process of buying a home. And then something happens with mama's ability to pay. Say, unfortunately, there's an illness or a death, or maybe daddy just found out. Then all of these things can add up and cause quite a burden on your ability to pay a mortgage loan. So I've known people that their mother, took care of them like that, and then something happened and they couldn't afford to make the payments. You don't want to be in that position. So make sure you're paying all of your own bills for a while before you try to buy a home. Those things alone could add up to hundreds of dollars. So just keep that in mind before you buy a home. Also, keep in mind that buying a home is not only expensive to purchase, but also maintain. The higher the price tag of the home, usually the higher the maintenance is going to be. Yes, we understand that homes that have, newer homes have qualities in them that make your utilities less, but you still have to maintain that home. So make sure you understand what your utilities are going to be. If you've lived in an apartment where your utilities were all included and you think you can afford a house payment for that amount that you were paying for rent, no, you can't. Because let's say you were paying $1,000 for rent and all of your utilities were included. Well, your gas, your electric, your water, your sewer, that can add up to a few $100s. That will be over and above that $1,000 payment. So make sure you understand you have to pay all those as well. Then if you get a home, not a condo or something that has an HOA that will take care of the common areas, you're going to have to take care of the yard or the landscaping. Either you'll do the work yourself or you're going to pay for it. So if you're living in an apartment, you may not have a lawnmower, so you'll have to buy one, a lawnmower, a weed eater, and that kind of equipment. So make sure you understand what the cost of that's going to be. And what about your job? If you have a job where you work a lot, are you going to have time to do all that work when you're off? So think about those things. Another expense is just maintaining your equipment. If you have an HVAC unit, heat and air conditioning unit, you've got to have regular maintenance. And it goes beyond just changing the filter. Think about it like your car. You've got to put gas in your car. You've got to get oil changes. You've got to buy tires. Every once in a while, you've got to have the tires rotated. There's regular maintenance you do on your car. Well, the same is true with your home. Your home is your most expensive investment. You're going to want to maintain it well. So make sure you understand what those costs are going to be. Also, is the home you're buying, does it have some things unique to that home? For instance, in our home, we have a pellet stove, which is kind of like, it's like a wood burning fireplace, or you could have a wood burning fireplace or a wood stove. Well, we have to have our pellet stove maintained every year, and we have to buy the pellets for that stove. So anything out of the ordinary like that, make sure you understand what the regular maintenance on that will be. Also, keep in mind things are going to break down. So you don't want to be what's called house poor, where you can't fix things if they break. So when you purchase a house, you're going to want to have a savings account where you can put money back in case the hot water heater, the washer, the dryer, or the dishwasher break down. Even when you purchase the home, if the seller buys a home warranty for you, it doesn't cover all of the cost of fixing that item. It only covers certain things. So you will still have to come out of pocket with some money. And just normal wear and tear on your house. You may knock a hole in the wall accidentally, or you may need to paint or do other things. And on the exterior, you may need to maintain, if you've got wood trim, rain may rot it. You may have to replace that. So just make sure you understand that you're going to have expenses beyond your house payment every month, and you'll want to make sure you put enough money back to cover those things. The longer you don't maintain a house, the more it will fall into disrepair. Make sure your home matches your lifestyle. If you work a lot of hours and have very little downtime, you may not want to live on a ranchette in the country. Those take a lot of time every weekend to maintain. Or if you work from home, internet accessibility is key. So you've got to check on that before you even start looking. If you have time to do the upkeep on the weekends, you may want that ranchette, but keep in mind, it takes time to do it. My husband used to work a full-time job with a lot of hours every day and several weekends throughout the year. And it was really hard because we couldn't always take the trips we wanted to take or go and take the day trips we wanted to, because it took him a full weekend to maintain our 4 acres that we had. If you like to travel and go to special events or something, a lot of those kinds of things, something with a large lot may hinder that. So stick with something in a neighborhood on a small lot so you can maintain that type of lifestyle. Also, don't fall for the hype. There are a lot of companies on TV that they'll buy large tracts of land and then divide them up into smaller tracts and then auction them off. And people get so excited about going to the auction and they actually buy the land. Some of them will actually move forward with building their dream home, but I've resold many of those lots because people will buy it, and then after they've paid taxes on it a couple of years, because taxes are high, the buyers will often find out they can't really afford to do what they want to do. it's expensive to build on land. So before you do that, make sure you get with a realtor or someone who really knows things. Don't go from people's stories because everybody's got a story. Make sure you talk to someone who is an expert in that area that can give you a really good idea of just how much it will really cost. Finally, in that category, just be realistic. I love working with people who have dreams. However, the dreams cannot overcome reality. So, having real conversations with people who have the information you need will help you make appropriate plans and not bite off more than you can chew. Keep in mind, if you get ready to buy, you have to have money and credit. A lot of people think that they can get in with little or no money and lower credit, but that's not true. Unfortunately, a lot of people want to just go look at houses, but if you haven't been pre-approved for a loan, it may not be that easy. As realtors, we have a responsibility to ensure that you can actually purchase the home you're looking at. So get pre-approved before looking. You'll have to have some money in the bank. Even though there are zero down payment loans, very few people actually qualify for those kind of loans, and they still have to have money in the bank for the earnest money, the option money, the appraisal, and application fees. And I've got another video on home buying that will help you understand all of that. There are other loans that will require some sort of a down payment that can be anywhere from 3.5% of the purchase price up to 20 and even 30%, depending on your financial situation and your credit. If you don't have any money, don't waste time going to look at homes you can't afford. There are also some lenders that will approve people who have minor credit issues, but no matter how much you try, you will not be able to be approved if you have bad credit or a lot of debt. I'd worked with people who have good credit and money to buy, but they can't get pre-approved for the amount they want because they have too much debt. Also, I've had buyers whose credit was just barely good enough to qualify. Then 2 days before closing, the lender pulled their credit, and one final time before closing, they had an unpaid bill show up and they were unable to buy because the lender would not finance that home. If you know you have credit issues and want to buy a home sometime in the future, reach out to a good lender or ask a realtor who would a good lender be to help you. Of course, I'm always glad to help. And that lender can help you get on a plan that will help you get where you need to be. And they're glad to work with you over a period of time until you can purchase. Don't be ashamed of your financial situation. Believe me, more people are in bad financial situation than you can imagine. And unfortunately, a lot of time it's due to issues that weren't their own. Maybe they had an ex-spouse that they ended up with bad credit, or something else happened. So don't be ashamed of that. Just reach out. Everyone's glad to help. Keep in mind when you're buying a home that approval is a two-part equation with the lender. The lender will approve buyers based on their ability to pay back the loan, but they also have to approve the home the buyers are wanting to purchase. Not every lender will lend on every home, so you need to know what kind of home you're wanting to buy. A lot of first-time home buyers will think they can get a fixer-upper and think it'll save them money. But first-time home buyers don't always qualify for a loan that will work for a fixer-upper. If you want a zero down payment or low down payment of 3.5% or 5%, those kinds of loans will only finance homes that are in pretty good shape and everything works okay. Fixers are usually done with a conventional loan that always requires a 20% down payment. Flipped homes or new builds will, if they're well done, if the flipped home is well done, those will usually qualify for USDA, FHA, or VA type loans. But they are pricier than a lot of the than what a lot of new homeowners can afford. Now, some people will be okay with purchasing a mobile home. Mobile homes are built differently today than they were. So let's say a mobile home on a little bit of land. Not all lenders will loan on those types of homes. So if you're okay with buying a mobile home on land, then make sure you work with a lender that will do both a traditional stick-built house and a mobile home, and work with them up front because they can do either or. So make sure you know that up front, and then you can move forward. Again, talking about many types of loans and many types of homes, um, it's so important that you understand that before going into the process. Once you know what kind of loan you qualify for, then your realtor can help direct you to those homes and help keep you from wasting time looking at homes that your lender will not allow you to purchase. You can change lenders, but keep in mind during the home buying process, you can only have your credit pulled 3 times before it hurts your credit. So you want to make sure you get with a lender that will fill your needs before you get your credit pulled. It is so important to understand this before you even decide to purchase a home. If you are thinking about buying a home sometime in the future, go ahead and reach out to me. I'd love to help you and give you some direction. Watch the other video on buying a home, or reach out to me. I can email you the link on the video or email you a paper document that may help as well. I'm Connie Swain, the Connector, connecting you with information you need to know. Thank you for watching this video. Give me a call if you have any questions. Good day.